What is up, guys? My name's Sean and this is Bastard Bros, and today we are going to talk to you about the Ned Rig. Lucas is behind the camera. We'll show you him later in the video. That's his hand. Yeah, we got set up on the tripod right now. But anyways, today we're going to be talking to you about the Ned Rig, and we're going to show you like the different ways to rig it up, the different colors, what line to throw it on, any questions you got, even how to fish it. So yeah, let's get into it. So this right here is what the Ned Rig looks like. It's basically, it has this little exposed hook and then the head. You can also rig it like as a Texas rig or completely weedless. And yeah, you can do like the bigger ones like that, but this is on a 1/10 ounce hook and a 2 3/4 inch finesse TRD. So now, like, when would you throw the Ned Rig is probably what you're asking yourself. And honestly, the best time to throw it is during the winter, but it works all year, especially whenever the water is just cold or like a cold front came in. I always love to throw the Ned Rig, especially on rivers. I love to throw the Ned Rig in the rivers. It's like my favorite bait to throw, just because of how like it just sinks slow depending on what size head you put on it. But the Ned Rig should be fished at like a shallow or like a medium depth. You can even go deeper if you wanted to. You're just gonna have to wait on it to fall. But basically how you fish is you just pop it off the bottom, and depending on the size of the head, you'll have like more contact with the bottom because you're gonna have to account for like current, wind, and that's how you're gonna be able to select the jig heads. So these are some of the jig heads here. These are the 1/10 ounce, as you can see. Let's have a pretty decent sized head on it. So guys, right here is the 1/10 ounce head. Normally if you want your bait to sink a little bit faster, this is the one I throw the most often too, because whenever I'm fishing in rivers, especially whenever there's a lot of current, you're gonna have like that constant contact with the bottom. You can also go up to like a 6 ounce or a 1/5 ounce, but at that point I don't really consider it a Ned Rig at that point, because it's supposed to be like finesse fishing. So you want it to be like as small as possible and as light as possible. So that's how I get like more bites in the winter with it. But this is the 15th ounce. This is the 15th ounce jig head right here. This is the smallest one I will like to throw. These are both the finesse shrooms made by Z-Man, and they're honestly the only hooks I will throw. So with the 15th ounce jig head, you're wanting to throw it whenever you want it to sink kind of slow compared to like the 10th ounce, because like with the 10th ounce it's going to sink a lot quicker than this 15th ounce, because they are like the size difference is completely different. Like you'll have to see it like once we show you how to rig it up here in a second. But yeah, I'll show you like what colors. Alright guys, so with the colors of the Ned Rig, I like to keep it simple to a degree. Like normally, like it depends on how clear the water is, if it's stained or not, if it's like crystal clear, or if it's chocolate milk. That's how I look at it. So if it's like clear, you want to go with more of like a natural color, so just try to match your hatch in your area. And if you don't know what that means, you need to like look and see like what type of bait fish you got, like what you can mimic in the water. So this is a green pumpkin one right here. This is a pretty good color. This is like my favorite natural color to throw. I have a few others I like to throw. This one right here is a pretty good one. It's kind of like the green pumpkin, as you can see, but it also has like that belly there. And this is called the Canada Crawl. And then I got this one, which is a green pumpkin orange, and you see how it has that little orange tint in it. And it does pretty good because it mimics some of the sunfish around here. And then this one, whenever the water is kind of a little bit stained and I want to have that darker profile, sometimes I'll throw this. This one is the California Crawl, and you see how it has those red flakes. It's kind of like a green pumpkin, has a little bit of a lighter belly. Works pretty good. So now, like, what are you supposed to do whenever the water is like really stained or like complete chocolate milk? So I like to throw the black and blue. Is like my primary one around here. It might differ where you live in the country, so keep that in mind. Yeah, these are the Finesse TRDs. I don't know if I said that earlier. But I got this one right here, which is a yoga pants. And this one's if you want to have like a dark silhouette in the water. That's why I like these two colors right here. Because this one is like if the water's just a little bit stained, and like if the water's completely stained, I like to go with that blackish color sometimes. And now also, I like this one, which is called Copper Trues. I use this for smallmouth quite a bit, and it's a pretty good color. It's kind of like a mix between kind of like the Canada Craw, and then it has that Copper Trues body right there. And yeah, it does pretty great. Then my other is the Hot Snakes. It has that little kind of like neon-ish like chartreuse bottom. It really stands out whenever the water is like murky. So I really love to throw this one whenever it's like that. So the spring baits that we like to throw are these right here. This is called the Twilight color. And this is a phenomenal spring break. I don't know what it is about it, but something about it just attracts the fish. And another one I love to throw in the spring is this one. This one is called the Molten Craw. And this one, it just kind of stands out more in the water, and it imitates the crawfish around here. So we're able to like match the hatch, because smallmouth, if you guys didn't know this, their #1 food source is crawfish. So that's why I love to use this in the spring, and it works wonders. So now I'm going to show you the different type of Z-Man TRD plastics they have. So this one right here is the Finesse TRD. This is what a good majority of the ones I've thrown. These are all the ones I've been showing you throughout the video. And then here is the big turd. This is a green pumpkin one. You can see, let me get it all lined up there. See the size difference in it. The Finesse one is 2 3/4 of an inch, and this one is 4. This one is called the big TRD. And this is the black and blue version of it. And these float. That's what the TRD means, because they're made out of elastic. So if you guys look, you can see like I can stretch this out and it's not gonna rip. These are really durable. You can use one of these for hundreds of fish as long as you don't break off. And then these right here are the TRD ticklers. They're basically a tube design. You see the little fork in the tail area right here? And these are good for smallmouth, especially up north. You guys will probably know what these are. You guys probably throw them pretty often. Down here, we don't throw them too much, but I do occasionally. And this one right here is the TRD Cross. See, it has a little crawls on it. It has a little design. And that's basically the different ones I like to throw. I'm pretty sure they have others, but I'm pretty sure these are the main ones that they throw. So yeah, that's basically all the different ones that we throw. We mainly throw the Finesse TRD ones, like we said. I'm here in North Carolina, specifically Western North Carolina. So we got like a lot of like clear like mountain lakes. Some of them are cold water, some of them are like warmer. Some of them have clay, some of them are rocks, and they just shine here. And whenever I like to throw the Ned Rig, I like to throw it whenever I don't get snagged, but also sometimes I will throw it to places where it can get snagged, because that's where the fish will hide. Specifically like trees. Like if you see a tree, you want to look for like a fork in it to where you can cast it right back in the, basically where the branch and the main trunk meets. And if you can get it right down in there and just slowly just pop your rod, and just whenever you feel a fish, just reel into it, you'll do pretty good. But also it excels in open water, especially whenever it's shallow to mid depth. And preferably sand or rocks are good for it. And that's whenever I like to throw it. So like I said earlier, I normally use the 10th ounce is my most common one. I'll also throw a 15th. But with big TRDs, you're going to want to throw it on probably like an 1/8 or maybe like a 6th or a 5th ounce. and that will help you like have more contact with the bottom, and it will help you like, because these big TRDs, they are huge like compared to the finesse TRDs. So you're gonna want probably like a little bit bigger of a weight. I mean, you can throw it on a lighter weight, but I'd probably like bump it up to like an 1/8 ounce if I was gonna throw it, but it also depends on how deep of water you're fishing. All right guys, so now I'm gonna show you how to rig it up and how to get the finesse TRD onto a 1/10 ounce finesse shroom jig head. And it's specifically made for the Ned Rig, and I'm a huge fan of the Z-Man products, and that's mainly the one I use for the Ned Rig. You guys can try like some of the Rattle and Neds too if you wanted to. And there's also some other ones that you can get, but preferably I like to stick with the finesse TRD, specifically the Z-Man, like any of those, but most of the time I'm throwing the finesse TRD. So now I'm going to show you how to rig this bait up. This is the finesse TRD. So you want to have the darker color on top, and I like to put it in at this end, not the end that has the bumps, specifically for the finesse TRD. And you want to stick it through kind of in the middle right here, and you want to keep it as straight as possible. You can get on that hook. I'll probably just pop it around right there. And there we go. There is the finished Ned Rig. Alright, and if you guys want to, you can always put a little bit of super glue right there between the head and the bait, and just to prevent it from slipping. Personally, I don't do that because I like to change out the colors pretty often. But basically that's how you rig it and you keep it from sliding. And you want the least amount of that hook exposed, but you want it to be flush with it. So if you guys look, I don't know if you guys can get a good angle on it. You see like right here, like you see how it's flush? That's basically what you want to shoot for with this. And now I will tell you about what type of rod to throw it on. And yeah, we'll see you here in a second. Whenever I'm throwing the Ned Rig, all the time I throw it on a spinning combo. Normally you want to throw it on a spinning combo because on a bait caster you're not going to be able to cast it too far, and with a spinning rod you're able to feel it more, and you're able to do like the pops and the twitches a little bit easier in my preference. But whenever you're throwing the Ned Rig, you should always be throwing it on a spinning rod. I like to use a medium for mine, and it's a 6'6". Specifically it's one of the Fenwick ones, and it works pretty good. I use it pretty much all the time, and I have it on 6-pound fluorocarbon. Now here's the thing with line, you're going to either want to do like a fluorocarbon to braid, so you want the braid on the spool and then a fluorocarbon leader, or you're just going to want to run straight fluorocarbon, or you can run mono. Preferably I like to run fluorocarbon because it sinks quicker, because fluorocarbon sinks. And if you want to have like more sensitivity, that's why I would recommend using like braid and then like a 20-inch fluorocarbon leader, depending on how clear your water system you're fishing that day is. And whenever you're like on a really clear lake, you're gonna want to probably go down to like maybe like a 4-pound test, mono or fluorocarbon, and that's going to help you basically get more bites. Now most situations I like to throw it on 8-pound fluorocarbon because I feel like with 6-pound fluorocarbon I break off more, but with 8-pound I have that still that really light line compared to like throwing it on a 10-pound, because if you throw it on a 10-pound it's going to be killing the action quite a bit. So that's what I would recommend. So like I was saying earlier, I like to throw it in the colder parts of the year, and it will catch big fish. So that is one incentive to throwing it, and you will also catch a lot of other smaller fish. That's also another reason why I love it. And you can fish it pretty much anywhere. Just remember with that exposed hook, you're gonna get snagged a lot. So if you're fishing like near trees, just be prepared to lose a few. Even like some rocks, like it'll fall in between it, but you can always get around that with Texas rigging the bait. And I'll probably do a video on that, like 5 or 6 different ways to rig up the Ned rig, and specifically the finesse TRD. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching the whole video. I really appreciate it, guys. And if you could, please like and subscribe for more content, and it really helps us out. And I really appreciate it. If you would follow us on Instagram too. I will link all the stuff that we talked about today and all the links to the Instagram and all the products that we talked about today down in the description below. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.